great to see everybody here on another fantastic, amazing, and beautiful Monday here in the Blue Barn Studios in Missouri. I say it's beautiful. It's beautifully white on the ground. We got about 7 inches of snow here, and it's pretty cold. We were -6 degrees this morning when I got up. It was probably colder than that in the night, but we are making it. It was Winter Field Day weekend, and we're going to talk about that. So we'll get into all that. I do have a couple special guests joining me today, so we'll get right to them. But just wanted to say hello to everyone. Glad to see all of you here. There's tons of you pouring in the chat, and we'll get to some of that later. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring in our first guest, and then we're going to start walking through some Winter Field Day recap. So, great to see everybody here. Thank you all for joining. Let's get this show on the road. All right. Wow, 15 inches of snow. That's crazy, Rosanna. Yeah, that's a lot. All right, here is our first guest we have today, James N0WRL. Welcome in, James.
Hello, Andy. Thanks for having me. And I was just reviewing your show notes, so I won't spoil anything. But yeah, you got a jam-packed show today.
It's a jam-packed show, the fastest 2 hours in ham radio, and it's going to be 2 hours of pure ham radio goodness. So let's just jump right into this. Catalina is supposed to be joining us a little bit later today, so we will look for her to pop in. James, if you see her pop in before I do, feel free to go ahead and bring her on to the stage there. So yeah, so Winter Field Day. Let's talk about that. It's that happened this weekend, and so did a major winter storm. So it was Winter Field Day, which is all about emergency preparedness. But in the wake of the severe winter storm that came through most of the U.S., well over half the U.S., a lot of stations ended up, myself included, ended up operating from home. So there was a lot of one hotel exchanges on the air. So James, why don't you kind of tell us? We'll get to sharing some maps here in a few minutes, but before we do that, why don't you go ahead and kind of walk us through what you did and how you set up and what you kind of heard on the air?
Yeah, well, I started out hot. I'll say that. So actually, there was a great group of there's a great club here in Georgia near me, North Fulton. So if anybody from North Fulton is watching, shout out to them. And I had planned to go up to a cabin up in Blue Ridge and was going to operate with them. But like a lot of people, I ended up being a one hotel. I was like, yeah, I don't, leaving my wife didn't want to be left at home either. I was like, I'm gonna operate one hotel. So the good thing about starting off Winter Field Day early was there was a lot of openings on the frequency. So if you wanted to just run and call CQ, it was really easy to find an open spot. So I started out running and calling CQ, and then I think me, you, Andy, and some of the rest of the team over here, we had to jump on a call to just like make sure that everything was running smoothly for World Radio League, which we can tell some more story. We could tell some stories about how we had to we upgraded our servers in the middle.
Yeah, let's talk about that here in just a couple minutes. For actually go ahead, dive on into that. We'll pull up. I'm pulling up stats on behind the scenes here. Go ahead and walk us through kind of what happened.
So we were about a couple hours into Winter Field Day, and we figured out we were about to blow out the numbers from last year. Just the number of users that was hitting the servers was a lot. And it's not that hard for us to upgrade our CPU. We can do it, but it's like, usually you don't do it in the middle of the competition, but I wonder if I might even be able to pull up an image for you guys of our CPU was running at 100% utilization, and it was just stuck there. And so we're sitting there on this call, and we're like, okay, we're at 100%. I'll share a quick screenshot.
Yeah, pop it in there. I'll put it up on the screen if you can pop it in the share there. Yeah, we blew out records from last year. While James is here, he's got that photo here.
So if you can see,
there you go.
if you can see the image, this is what our internal dashboard from Grafana looked like. We were at 100% CPU, 100% system load. Three actually, I don't even know how they calculate the sys load, but our CPU was at like 100%. And I'm like, how is our server not crashing, right? So anyway, we decided we're like, hey, let's just upgrade it. We're gonna super overpower this thing, double our CPU cores, and we did it. We just upgraded the
Yeah,
server in the middle of
live.
the. So if you were like if you
You
were
did it
logging Winter
live.
Field Day, yeah, if you were logging Winter Field Day and it went down for like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, that's what happened. But it was really flawless, and it really proved that as we've got these big competitions like WRTC 2026 coming up, the World Radio Team Championship. So it was really good to see that our architecture can handle pretty much anything. We didn't even scale it up near as much as we can if we need to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so let me just walk through. We blew out records from last year. I mean, we smashed records from last year, Winter Field Day. And I haven't heard from the Winter Field Day team yet. They've still got, of course, a lot of um, data they need to walk through and process on their end. Once we hear, I'm very anxious to hear, what they saw, but we saw tremendous growth here. So these numbers: 1,149 participants. That was up from 889 last year, about a 30% increase in participants. These numbers are, here's some really big numbers: 37,093 contacts logged. This is well over a 200% increase from last year. Last year we had around 17,500, and we just completely smashed that record. And I think this number keeps going up. I think people who did not use, maybe they logged on paper or something, I think they're starting to upload their logs now. Now that the contest is over. So huge shout out to Dan K5TD for logging 1,304 contacts with 36% of his objectives completed. That gave him a total score of 15,652, top spot on the leaderboard. And then second place went to W8EDH Everyday Ham, and third place went to KI5MM Ward. So congrats, guys! The huge.
By the way,
huge number.
Jacob, AI5XR, who represented us at Cowtown, great ambassador. I think he's
Top
right
5.
there,
Yep.
top 5.
Top
well
5
done.
right there. Yep. Congrats, Jacob. Top 5. Yeah. So I mean, this is absolutely huge. And James, I think when we were going into this, you told us, as I recall, it was about a couple hours in. You were like, "Hey guys, I think we're going to cross 20,000 contacts this year," and we had 20,000 contacts plus the number of contacts we had last year. So really some really big numbers for us, and we're really, really excited about that.
Yeah, it's just really exciting too. I mean, I think you can kind of start to see what the future of ham radio contesting and ham radio real-time contesting and events and things. I think there's so much more that we can grow on. And there's Andy.
There I am, spot 80.
And you had to over 70 contacts, so it's not you still
I had 70. Yep. 70.
So I mean, you can see like this was pretty competitive. Now if you go into
that was during an 11-hour live stream, I logged those 70 contacts, or most of them.
if you go into the statistics as well and you scroll down,
that's where I was. Yeah, that's the next tab here. This is really, really cool breakdown. So you can see across what bands were used. Now, these bands that are 17, 12, and 30, you can see there's almost none logged on there. That's because those are the work bands, and they're technically not allowed for Winter Field Day. So very few. There's probably a few people who didn't recognize that, and so they logged a few contacts there. But that's why those are the least used. I guess I kind of halfway expected maybe 15 and 10 would get a little bit more use. And 40, of course, through the night got quite a bit of use, but 20 really came through as the big band, as it usually does. Of course, single sideband most of the contacts there. Very few on CW. I made one. I wish like crazy I would have made a bunch of CW contacts because I forgot until after it was already over that gives you like a multiplier of 2. Every CW contact is like worth 2 points. So anyway, something to keep in mind for next year. And this is one of my favorite graphs here. This is a really cool breakdown of QSOs per hour. So this is from the 1600 hour all the way to the 2100 hour. And you can see contacts per hour broken down over that time. You can see here, when it peaks mid to late afternoon, and then really falls off down here towards the evening. So, and look who just joined us. We have Catalina, LU5EZO. Welcome, Catalina. Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Did you miss me?
Doing great. How are you doing in Argentina? I hear that it is not winter down there.
It's not winter. We are in summer now, and it's very, very hot. Now it's very gray, and it started to rain, but because of the hot weather.
Okay.
Andy, didn't you get a contact with Argentina during Winterfield Day?
I think that one I can't hear. Hold on. I tried at one point and I don't think they were operating the event. So let's see if I put one in my regular log. I put a few contacts. No, I didn't get Argentina during the event. I started to, and they weren't operating Winterfield Day, and I don't think they were going to give me an exchange, so I kind of moved on. But I
got a Bahamas contact during the event, and I did
during the event. Propagation was awesome on Saturday and Sunday, and I got trying to find this Chile, and see here, Brazil, Jamaica, and I logged a couple of my first 160 meter contacts, and one of them was with Arkansas, which is very rare for me to get Arkansas because I live too far for VHF and too close for basically anything above 40 meters. So that was pretty fun. But alas and alack, they weren't operating Winterfield Day either. So, but yeah, so let me go ahead and share let's look at the participants map. Here's a map of our Winterfield Day participants. Wow, that is so cool. That is really cool. You can see they're really packed pretty tight across the U.S. And I
wonder if we might be able to find Pepe or Felipe. Yeah. Maybe we can find those guys because they'll be some of the only ones in.
Let's see here. I'm showing my ignorance on geography, but I'm trying to locate where.
Well, there's Belgium. Click the one in Belgium. I bet that's Philippe.
Let's see right here.
Yeah, let's see.
Yep. Nailed
there
it.
You go.
Very cool. And then let's see if we can find. Once again, showing my ignorance on geography, but anyway, I'm sure Pepe's around here somewhere.
Switzerland is a really cool. Like I said, I actually met Pepe in person when I went to the big ham fest and
maybe Pepe didn't operate this year.
It's right on the border. It's actually in Germany, so you kind of go through Switzerland. But I was like, Switzerland is a crazy country. I mean, there's so many things you can learn about. I won't go on a huge aside or something, but they have all these bunkers in the mountains. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's also a beautiful country. They have really pure water. They have fountains everywhere. So maybe Pepe in the chat can tell us more about Switzerland for those of us in the United States.
Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. So guys, if you haven't already, be sure and put your Winterfield Day maps in the contesting channel on the World Radio League Discord, and I'll show them here in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and share mine, and then I'm going to give it to James to share his, and then we'll check Discord and see who all's been sharing them in the chat. But here's my 70 contacts. Look at all those confirmations. Love those confirmations. I did internationally. I think I got a couple of Mexico. And I got Alaska. I almost never get Alaska, but I was able to get an Alaska contact. So let's take a quick look at that map. There we go. There's my Winterfield Day map. So not horrible.
Looking good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that was a lot of fun. And also, like I said, a live stream for 11 hours, and towards the end of the last hour or two, Sean KE0MAD and Chris N3WER were helping me troubleshoot some of my uh, ground loop issues on my audio setup. So I could not hardly operate 40 meters because I had a horrible RF in the shack problem, and thankfully they were able to help me nail it down to my audio setup and get it manageable, at least for now. So yeah, so that's my map, and just as a reminder for everybody, if you generate one of these maps and you want to adjust a little bit, you can always click this brand new adjust map position button and put it right where you want it. So yeah, 17 contacts on 10 meters, 25 contacts equally on 15 and 20 meters, 1 CW and 69 single sideband. 3 DX entities, Mexico, US, and Alaska. And yes, Alaska is a separate DXCC entity from the US. So yeah, really fun. 2.3 QSOs per hour, not a great rate. I could have done a lot better, but I was not pushing it very hard. So, James, why don't you go ahead and share your map if you've got it up there, and we'll take a look at. If you don't mind sharing it, we'll take a look at yours.
Hey, no problem. I'm not embarrassed. I didn't do that good, but I'll share it anyway. I updated, like, I'm kind of like liking this like actual realistic map with the terrain right now. I kind of
Yes,
Yeah, I like
I
that
love
I
it.
like to see the terrain, and I don't know why I got like hooked on orange, and like I've been sticking with orange. Andy's probably going to talk about this later, but we are about to release very soon a working map key, so you'll actually be able to color code your things. So let's click my share map and see. For some reason, it thinks that I contacted a guy in China. I didn't actually contact somebody in China. I got to figure out why it thinks that guy's in. But I can do my adjust map position. So no shocker for those people who know me. I did a bunch of SSB and I did a bunch of 20 meters. I knew I was not going to get 6 bands. So I was like, I'll just stick on 20 anyway. So yeah, I got 24 QSOs. Probably the highlight was getting Bahamas in the log, which is really cool. Jeremy Parr, C6AJP. So that was cool. I wish we need to add like the longest contact on here too. That would be a nice little little addition.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Catalina, I would love for you to show your map right here, except that I know you didn't participate. So we're gonna have to get you a radio and get you on the air one of these days.
Because here it is summer, so I can't participate in a winter field day.
Of course.
Yeah, that was the issue.
Yeah, but I think
too hot.
Well, and Catalina, I think you told us before that when you did your ham radio exams, you actually had the practical part of the exam. Like
exactly.
You actually, like we don't have
here in
that.
Argentina, you have to do it, and you have like a supervisor that tells you if you're ready or not. But I went to the club, I think like 5 or 6 times, and I made a lot of contacts.
Wow.
So it was cool.
Let us know in the chat, guys. Should the United States force you to do a practical part of the exam like Argentina?
No.
Or just or should we bring back Morse code? You could pass a Morse code test, Andy.
Maybe I might. I don't know. If I'm under that much pressure, I'm not sure I could. All right. So yeah, that is our winter field day. Now let's take a look at yours. I dropped a Discord invite link in there. Be sure and drop your map in the contesting channel, and I'm going to pull that up here, starting right now. Let me go ahead and switch over to that screen. We got some really cool ones coming in here. Yeah, go ahead, James.
Look, they have a practical in Australia as well. I did not realize that. I thought Australia was just exam like the United States, but they also have a practical.
Yeah, very cool. So here's Joe KR4HGB. Here's his setup. Very nice. Very cool. 79. Oh, you had to share it, didn't you, Joe? You just had to share it. 79 degrees with a low of 54. Yeah, we were at about 5 degrees with a low of -7 or something like that. It was, yes, very, very
Catalina's
cold.
probably like trying to convert that to Celsius. She's like,
Yeah.
she's like, it's not hot. I don't even know.
Catalina, I think that would be about the probably upper 20s to low 30s, maybe in Celsius. I think that's about where that lands.
Oh,
I
it's
may be
like
wrong,
here.
so.
Here we are in the 30s
Exactly.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
35 degrees.
Yeah. So here is KB4 SWP. It's like awesome
I
setup
love
there.
that setup. Does he have
Yeah,
solar
very
on
cool.
that? I think looked like he has solar controller. Is
yeah,
that
I
it
saw
looks
that
like
one on
it.
social media.
Very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that's cool.
Cool.
Very, very nice. Very cool. That is really cool. N0XRG says he was operating
I
one
love it.
hotel. Oh man, that's beautiful. That is a
That-
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Setup.
That
is
bottom
so awesome.
monitor is so nice.
Yeah, I love that. Oh man, I want to just man, that is so cool.
I'm so jealous.
That makes me want to just like put that up on the wall. Like that is so cool.
Dang, that's
put
nice.
that picture up. Just look at it. Very nice, Ron, and yeah, very, very cool. And then let's see here. We've got Rodney. Here's Rodney's setup out of Texas.
Ronnie was just going straight east. Look at that. Like almost everything. I wonder if that was just luck, Rodney, or were you going directional, or maybe it was just.
I'm guessing he was using a vertical antenna, and lots of times those will tend to, like if you get your counterpoints pointed in one direction, they'll tend to really go that direction quite a bit. So it could have been something like that.
I like the
Jesse,
diagram. That it does.
Operated out of a. Go ahead, Catalina. What was that?
No, that I liked the diagram of the map. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. KB5TX. Jesse was operating, looks like out of that club. A 26-foot enclosed trailer, affectionately known as the Mobile Operations Center. 2 operators in the trailer, 2 in the cabin. Couldn't keep it warm enough. Yeah, I understand. I'm having a hard time keeping my shack warm enough right now. Wow, there you go. That's cold. That's pretty cold. It's only 23.2. I guess it's not that cold. Yeah, very, very nice. And then I have no room to complain because up in like Minnesota, they were dealing with wind chills in like the -40s. So, that's cold. I think -40, if I'm not mistaken, that's where Celsius and Fahrenheit align, is at -40. Like -40 is the same for Fahrenheit and Celsius. So there's your bit of trivia for the day. Terry, KQ4MDM, operated out of, no, I didn't say Siri. Hold on. Terry, KQ4MDM, operated out of, let's see here, Tennessee. So he was operating from home. And yeah, very nice spread on the contacts there. Cool. And then we've got W4CAE. Wow. Now there's that's beautiful. There's a map right there. The CARC operating out of, where are we operating out of? Lake Watery. That is POTA US 3880. I've really wanted to do POTA and Winter Field Day at the same time, but this year was certainly not the year to make that happen. But very nice map there. That looks fantastic. I love the
How many
QSOs
is that total? That looks like a lot.
185.
Jeez.
185.
Wow.
Yep,
Well
they did
done.
2 over FM, 44 over JS8, 138 over single sideband, and then they did 29 on 15 meters, 63 on 20, and wow, 81 on 40. Wow, that's kind of cool. Majority
really
on
cool.
40 meters. Colin and VK. Hey, Colin. Not Winter Field Day, but made 240 contacts using the AX prefix for Australia Day. Oh, yeah. That
very
was
cool.
also yesterday. That is awesome. That is
Yeah.
really
Australia-
awesome.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wish I could have worked you, Colin. That's really cool. I was too focused on Winter Field Day, but that would have been fun. Then we've got W4SFX, and this looks like the club from one of those map shares a few minutes ago, and their setup. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very cool. Yeah.
34.
So who else do we have? We've got that was the CIRC. Looks like we've got a couple more coming in, so we'll wait for those to show up. But yeah, I mean, James, just your best. Oh, here we go, right here. Jacob, Winter Field Day from Texas, 274 QSOs. Wow.
And the
Great
most creative map customization
Most
too.
creative map award. There you go. Beautiful, Jacob. That's fantastic. Wow. 16 degrees. Okay, now you're getting closer. You're getting closer. Wow.
Wow,
that
that's
is
cool.
so cool. Love the setup there. James, you got an extra multiplier because you did 100% alternative power, didn't you?
Yep, 100% alternative power. I mean, I think I'm doing that right. And I actually did lose power at my house for a couple hours. I had a giant limb come down in my yard, and somewhere between, in the power lines, there was a limb that fell on our lines, and we lost power for a couple hours. But when you lose power as a ham radio operator, you tend to have a bunch of extra batteries laying around. So we were in good shape, and I had a bunch of LifePo 4 batteries. And actually, here I'll pull up a picture here in a little bit so you can see the giant limb that fell, and luckily did not land on my house. But that was the only objectives that I met. Actually, I was gonna try to go get a satellite contact, because I felt like that was kind of a gimme. Like, if you know how to make satellite contacts, you could get an extra 2 or 3 multipliers just by doing one satellite contact. So that was an easy one. What were some of the other ones? I'm trying to think.
The multipliers?
Yeah, what were the rest of them?
Yeah, I copied the Winter Field Day bulletin. That was one of the multipliers. So I was able
that
to
was
get
a good
that
one.
Yeah, and then contacts on 6 different bands. There was one this year for contacts, I think, on 12 different bands, maybe. And then there's, what else was there? There was deploying multiple antennas, and there was trying to recall some of the others were. We can actually look at that right quick. Let me pull it up here. There we go. So objectives.
If you can add
what's here?
I'll just show this really quick. This is my front yard after the storm. So you can see everything froze.
Crazy.
And all of this stuff fell right in front of my house. And luckily none of it landed on my roof, but pretty crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I've certainly been through the odd ice storm here and there. So yeah, here we go. 100% on alternative power, operate away from home, deploy multiple antennas, FM satellite contact, SSB or CW satellite contact, send and receive at least one WinLink email. I tried to do that, but WinLink is a pain to set up, especially on a Mac. I love Mac, but it's a pain to set WinLink up. And then operate on at least 6 different bands. Here, copy the Winter Field Day special bulletin. Then we had, what else did we have? See here, multiple modes, operate the event QRP, and 6 continuous hours, which I came close to, but I could never quite get. So it seemed like every time I got close, I had to do something else. So, but anyway, if you haven't checked out the stats page, this is really cool. You can just go look at your stats, and then within your logbook, you can go over here to the view scoring breakdown. This is a really cool page. So here's my scoring breakdown. 284 total points. If I scroll down here, let's see here, where is it? Okay. We've got a map here, got the statistics page here, contacts by band, by mode per hour, along with the scoring breakdown here. And if I was a club with multiple operators, and I entered those operators as they were working, and then those would pop up right here. Here's the sections I worked. I worked 38 different sections. That's interesting. I worked the most out of Oregon and Arizona. Very cool. Anyway, really neat breakdown there. And then you've got another place to check your objectives and the total multipliers and objective completion. You got one participation trophy multiplier this year because they realized last year at Winter Field Day that if you didn't complete any objectives, you got a multiplier of 0, and so they had to fix that. but anyway, so yeah, it was a really cool event. James, what's your just kind of your takeaway from Winter Field Day? What's your after it's all over, what did you what's your takeaway?
I love Winter Field Day. I mean, I think it's one of the best events, especially for more beginners. And like, if you're not a super hardcore contester, but you want to get on, it's awesome when you get on HF and the whole band is just lit up, So I think that's I think one of the best things about Winter Field Day to me. So it was awesome to see the participation go up by like 2x, like go from 17,000 to 30 something thousand, because I think it shows that ham radio is really growing and it's evolving and changing, and the way that people operate is changing. But like, to see that type of growth is really encouraging, for the future.
Absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. Couldn't agree more. We're going to take a very quick break. And when we get back, we are going to Catalina. Are you going to be with us on the other side of the break, at least for a couple minutes?
Yeah, just for a couple of minutes more.
Okay. When we come back from the break, I'm going to show a few more of the maps from Discord that have just come in, and Catalina is going to tell you why you need to share those on social media. So we will be right back after a short break, and we'll see you then, guys. This is a song for all of you. We're gonna play this through the break here. I could say I worked very hard on this. I kind of worked very hard on this, but I worked hard on. Well, anyway, you'll. I did not write the song or record the music. It was I put one of my AI minions up to it, but it was so hard to get it dialed in just right. But this is a song for all of those sad hams out there. If you are a sad M, if you are a sad ham, you probably don't know who you are, but we do, and this is for you. So here we go. We'll be back on the other side of the break, guys. Hold on.
Got a coffee can of crystals, dusty knobs and a busted chair. I tuned this rig by a fingertip when most of y'all weren't there. Now you're rolling with your gadgets, flashy screens I can't stand. Clicking, tapping, talking to the world. Boy, get off my band. Get off my band, you button pushing stranger. This old way was built by calloused hands. You're talking about your firmware, I'm talking about the land. If you ain't here to rack you slow, then get off my band. Yeah, get off my band. We used to chase that faint voice through the hiss and the howling rain. Now it's talk groups, talk codes, I can't even catch your name. You got lists and little icons, but you don't know how to stand through a storm with just a wire and a wish. So get off my band. Get off my band, you shortcut taking hero. You brag about a signal pre-program. I tune this cold by ear. You just scroll and let it scan. If you won't learn to ride the fading tide, then get off my band. Yeah, get off my band. I ain't saying I'm perfect, nope, but I earned these shaky hands, chasing skips till the sunrise, logbook full of crooked plans. So when I hear that auto call right across my favorite span, I growl into this mic and draw. Son, get off my band. Get off it. Get off my band, you shiny plastic cowboy. With your menus I don't understand. I'm sticking with this humming box and a rusty tower stand. You can keep your fancy talking toys, just get off my band. One more time for the back row boys, get off my band.
We are back live once again from the Blue Barn Studio. Indeed, the Blue Barn Studio right here. We've got stickers now that are not available for sale at this point, but if that's something you would want, I'm sure we can get something out of it. James and Catalina are still with us. Oh, man. I had too much fun with that song. Anyway, okay. All right. So, like I said, if you listen to that song and you have no idea what it's talking about, you're who it's talking about. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I'm sure we've all run into some of that here and there, and approaching it with humor is, I think, most of the time is the best approach. So, we've got a few more map shares here on Discord. So Bob at KM7ARX says first time contesting and only second time turning on the G90. Very cool. 17 contacts. Very, very nice. Looking great there. That's really cool. Really, really cool. Absolutely. Jacob says he was 10 watts and alternative power. Very cool. Colin, the 26th. He was at 26 degrees Celsius. 26.7. That's probably roughly mid 70s, 80s here, maybe.
That's warm.
Official bureau temp was 45 Celsius or 113 Fahrenheit. That's hot. That's hot. That's real hot. I would halfway want to take the cold over that. I don't know.
Here we are 10 more grades. So for me, that's cool.
You're where are you?
In Argentina, we are in 35 today.
Oh, okay. I was talking about, he said the weather bureau temp was 45 or 113
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
okay.
That's hot. That's really hot. I think I'd rather take the cold nearly. Chaz, K3 Whiskey. Beautiful map here. Fantastic. Very nice. 202 QSOs. Wow, that's a solid log. I like that one. And Winterfield Day in Georgia from Ed, KB4SYV. Wow,
it's beautiful.
That is fantastic. Coming out of Georgia, Alfalfa, very close to James, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Tom WC5B, 90% of this is Winterfield Day. Okay, cool. Out of Oklahoma. I've got some family in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a hard one for me to hit because it's so close to my location that I have a hard time getting contacts in Oklahoma, but sometimes 40 meters will do it for me. And then NA4DX had to move Winterfield Day back from his main logbook back to Winterfield Day logbook. Yeah, so finished with 588. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and address best practice here, and James, you can throw in anything if you want to. Best practice here is to leave them in the Winterfield Day logbook. That makes sure you keep them on the leaderboard and keep your scoring all set up and everything. And then very soon we're going to be introducing some organizational features for your logbook, so you can like put them in folders, star some so they'll jump to the top, that type of thing, and filters, what have you. And so the best approach, in my opinion, would be leave them in the Winterfield Day logbook, and you'll have some sorting opportunities soon. So James, what say you?
Yeah, no, I think you said it perfectly. I would recommend keeping your contacts in your Winterfield Day logbook, just so you stay on the leaderboard, you stay on the scoreboard. We do have all the data on the contacts themselves, so we will be making some fixes so that even if you move them to another logbook, you still stay on the leaderboard for the contest. We're working on that, but for now, I think you said it perfectly.
Okay, very cool. All right. Catalina, can you tell us why users should, in fact, share these maps to social media?
Yes, of course. So I'm gonna remind the ones that know and let them know the ones that don't know about our current project that we are having. If you share your map on social media, you have some chances of winning World Radio League mug. We had 5 winners on December because they shared so many maps that they won their mugs. So we have 5 winners per month. And this is a great opportunity to share your Winterfield Day maps. And you have the chance to win one of these maps that they are awesome for your next Winterfield Days, for your next contests. Thank you, Andy. I was going to ask you to do that. So I'm checking every day social media. The most important part is that you tag World Radio League. That's the only way I can see your maps on social media, that we can check them and it can count as a point. The more maps you share, the more possibilities you have to win this mug at the end of the month. So we are on the 26th of January. So we are very, very close to know the new winners of these mugs. So don't waste your time. Share your maps on social media and win a mug.
Okay. Now, a couple of caveats. Don't share them in any private groups, including the World Radio League group. They need to be shared in public groups or Facebook groups or across social media. What all platforms are you checking, Catalina?
Yeah, I'm checking all of them. I'm checking on Instagram. We have a lot of users sharing their maps there. So if you tag World Radio League accounts, that we are World Radio League in Facebook and Instagram, you can get a point. But if you don't tag me, maybe I can find them and you're lucky and I will count them. But the most important part is that you tag World Radio League. If not, it's impossible for me to check all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, very nice. Thank you. So yeah, and there will be 5 winners at the end of the month. Catalina probably already said that. There's 5 winners every month.
Yeah.
And mugs for map shares is what it's called. Tag World Radio. Maybe it would be easier if we started using hashtag mugs for map shares to find them all. But for now, just tag World Radio League, and we'll figure out a way to track hashtags later. So that's probably.
Speaking of awards, I will share one other thing.
Yeah.
There is going to be a Winter Field Day badge and award coming. So if you participated in Winter Field Day, you will be getting a badge and on your profile. And if you're a member, you will also be able to download that as a PDF award. And I think we'll do something special for some of the top finishers. So maybe that's like the top 5 or the top 10. You'll probably have a special award too.
Very cool. Very cool. And James, I'm not able to keep an eye on the comments the entire time. So there's like a little star there. If you want to star up a few of them, we'll hit them in a few minutes when we get towards the end of this segment, and we'll walk through some of those. And also, if you want me to show your map on stream, if you could get it into Discord before 3, we'll go to break at 3, and when I come back, I'll show you. Well, 3 Central. That's another roughly 15 minutes from now.
Thank you, because my clock is not on 3.
Yeah, let's just do UTC time, Andy. Just UTC time.
Yes, sir. UTC time would be 2100. Get it in there by 2100 UTC, and I'll share it after the next break. So, but yeah, if you want your map shared, get it in there. Get it in the Discord right away. Let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, which is, see here. Yes, that is, it's time for World Radio League's Weekend 90 Seconds. That's right. This is the part of the show where I try to cover everything we've done in 90 seconds or less in the past week. This is going to be a hard one. This week, we released all of the Winter Field Day updates and changes, and you all used that. Things went almost completely flawlessly. It was absolutely fantastic and beautiful. We have added manual map positioning on the map share. That was over the last couple of weeks. We got that finalized and out the door in its entirety. We released Winter Field Day for the mobile app, and that one was used quite heavily as well. We added let's see here. There we go. We had a UI improvement for mode locking on that feature we talked about last week, the mode lock feature. We have finalized the all contacts map with filters. We debuted that one the last couple of weeks. That one is out and completed. On the Ham Radio Prep side, we have a most difficult and missed questions feature. That one is really, really cool. That one's out the door, and we are actually going to be, I'll dive into that here in a few minutes. We're going to be releasing some really cool updates to that soon. So bug fixes. I'm going to just rapid fire through some of these. We had some issues with zooming out on the mobile app. Those have been fixed. We had issues with the pop-out map not refreshing as contacts were locked. That one's been fixed. We had issues with some analytics. Those have been fixed. There's my time, frequency, and band mapping issues. Those have been fixed. Location display issue. Jacob, I think you reported that one. That one's taken care of. And see here, WSJTX integration needed a small update, and the FT4 frequency situation, the default frequency. But so basically, the frequency, it's not always right on the frequency. It sometimes deviates a little bit off that, plus or minus a couple kilohertz, and we or megahertz, and we fixed that as well. That was our weekend. About 98 seconds, maybe. I don't know. Close enough.
Favorite part. I love it.
All right. Let's go back through and walk through some of these. And Catalina, absolutely glad to have you as long as you can stay. But
I'm gonna stay for 10 minutes more.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. So let's start with the HRP app. James, what's new and what's coming there? This is something that's really cool.
Do you want me to focus on ham radio prep side?
To start with, yeah, absolutely. The Ham
Okay.
Radio Prep app. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about this that much, so this will be cool to talk about. So, well, one of the things is Ham Radio Prep is we are upgrading the React version on the app, so a little bit nerdy, but what this means is that the app is going to get a lot faster, so that's really good. But we're also similar to how we have streaks on the
World Radio League.
World Radio League side. Yeah, sorry, got my brain working here.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be study streaks, so that's gonna finally get Andy his extra ticket, because now that Andy has study streaks, he has to study every day, at least complete one quiz question, and you'll get your study streaks. So go download, if you don't have the Ham Radio Prep mobile app, download the Ham Radio Prep mobile app. It's an amazing way to study for your exam, and it actually has video lessons. We're the only mobile app that has video lessons that actually teach you the material, so it's not just endless quizzes. You can see what you're studying. You can see what you're studying. You just search
You're also not just constantly just reading. It's literally these really, really good videos with subtitles. We highlight the text, the answer text in blue. It's very, very much an experience that is very helpful for learners.
And I will go ahead and here's one that you're going to hear first. We are still probably about a month and a half away from this on the Ham Radio Prep app, but we will be integrating the ability to schedule your exams right inside the Ham Radio Prep app and from within inside of Ham Radio Prep. It is coming. So for those of you who are volunteer examiners, you'll be able to post your exams, and that's going to make a really seamless experience, because it'll just be end to end right there inside the app, and we're going to integrate with some other services there too.
You wanted breaking news, you got breaking news. That's a big one. That's a really big one. So that's really cool. And when will those study streaks be available in the mobile app?
The biggest thing right now is we got to get through the React update. So I would say probably end of this week, early next week, you'll see those come out on the Ham Radio Prep app. So
very nice.
So be on the lookout for those.
Very, very cool. Right. So we talked last week about adding the manual map positioning on MapShare, and I showed you that just a few minutes ago. So that is basically where let me get the right tab shared out here. There we go. So basically, if I go into my logbook here and into my map, I click share map, then I can just click this button after it gets the share options ready, the screenshot all prepared and everything. I can click this adjust map position button, zoom in and out, move it around a little bit if I want to, and that you really get a custom positioning here. And just a couple wrap up things we did. That one was out last week. We just wrapped up a couple things, got that one finalized. It's kind of, I guess at this point, it's kind of pointless to talk about the Winter Field Day customization, because that's been released. It's over. We've gone through a bunch of it and shown you kind of what we did. There are some elements though that will be widely available, not just in Winter Field Day. And James, do you want to speak to any of those now, or do you want to wait a week or two on that?
Yeah, I think, well, one thing that I can mention is the leaderboard now goes to 100 people. The leaderboard used to go only to 20 people. So it's much better, and you're much likely to find yourself, if you're like me and you get, 30 contacts, like you're not going to be in the top 20, So like you
20, baby.
But you know what? I want to share something with you guys that this is also related. Is we have been chosen to be the official live scoreboard for the World Radio Team Championship that is going to be happening in England in 2026. And so, if you go to the World Radio Team Championship, you can see a little bit more. But this is going to be the top 100 ham radio operators, contesters around the world, and that live stream and the live scoreboard is going to be just like Winter Field Day, except even better. So I had a meeting with all the World Radio Team Championship guys yesterday, and they were so impressed with what we did for Winter Field Day and all of you guys participating. So it was a really good step in. I mean, this is the future of real-time contesting that we're talking about for ham radio. So we're helping build that. And if you go to the World Radio League homepage and you scroll down and you look at this video, you can get more information about the World Radio Team Championship and what that means. What's going to be really cool for people who are not a contester is watch the live stream. Andy will probably be doing some live streaming during that. It'll be great. And also, you can try to work those stations. So you can you'll have an opportunity to get some of the best ham radio contesters in the world in your logbook. So be on the lookout for that.
Very cool. Very cool. And yeah, it's really quite an event. If you start looking into the rules and the setup, it's quite the event. So very, very nice. What else did we have? So the mode lock, that's one that we released. And let me go ahead and just demonstrate that one for you one more time. If you're in a different, I always get my IARU and ITU regions and zones confused. But if you're in a different band plan than we have here in the US, you can just click this lock icon on the mode. That way, when you put in a different frequency, like this is a CW frequency here, and usually this would convert to CW, but it just locks it at upper sideband because that's where I had it locked. If I unlock it, then
Here,
I can put
let me push you to the stage.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. I didn't have that up there. So I can lock this at CW, put in a single sideband frequency. Doesn't change if I bring this off here and then hit it again. There you go, single sideband. So that's if you're not in the US band plan, then that could be very, very beneficial for you. So that's a lot of the new stuff that we've got out this week, and we've got a lot of stuff that's currently in testing. We've got POTA export validation. Let me go ahead and show this one off.
Ooh, I'm so excited for this one. Yeah, this is nice.
Feel free to go ahead and test this one if you are in our beta program. If you're not, go to the beta testers channel in the Discord and ask for the link.
Calling all beta testers. Calling all beta testers.
So do not use the beta site as your primary log. This is a totally separate sandbox environment. I feel the need to throw that caveat out every time. But here's a POTA log. This is just a sample POTA log. You can see I logged James and Jim and Brad and a local school and Catalina and Zach and Caleb all in here. And so if I go up here, then when I do the export, I'll export the POTA file. Then right now there are no errors, so it's going to just export it like normal here. There we go. So you can see it download the ADIF. But if I say I go back here and I have, say this one is missing the band, and this one here is missing the mode. So then now when I go to do this export, I'll click on the export button. Look at this warning. Some of the contacts in your log have missing data that will cause an error uploading to POTA. And then please add the missing data to these contacts. Here it gives me the option. Select
that
band.
Is so cool.
On this contact, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So I can say, okay, oh yeah, this one was on the 20 meter band, and this one was Brad. This one was single sideband. So then now rather than continue to export ADIF, I just click update and validate. There we go. All good. Now continue to export to ADIF.
That is so cool.
Boom.
I mean, if you've ever just accidentally missed something, this saves you so many steps, because then you don't go over to POTA and then you forget, and then you come back and you're like looking through your logs and like, oh, which one's missing the band, or
absolutely. It is such a cool feature, and I'm really excited to get this one launched, because we have had complaints where people just didn't put their band or mode in and then tried to upload it to POTA, and they were like, hey, something's wrong with your ADIF. Well, it was just missing your band and mode. So this will flag that so that you can see that on your side, and really, really super excited about that one. And that's one we've been talked about. So, oh man, sorry. James has thrown some obligatory comments in our notes, our internal notes document, claiming that I will reconfirmations from QRZ will be launched this week, or Andy will eat his foot. I am not going to pin myself down that hard. I feel like there's too much risk of even if there's only like a 5% chance that it doesn't get launched, that's still a 5% chance of me losing my foot, and I don't feel like risking it that much. So.
Okay, I will take it. I will eat my own foot, or I will eat your foot, Andy. I will do it. If we don't launch the reconfirmations, and I know who's looking for this one is Terry. Terry has been asking this one for so long, and I swear we are working so hard. It is kind of this one is kind of complicated. And I'll tell you, the reason why this one took a little bit longer to get out is because of rate limiting. So the tricky thing with the QRZ confirmations is you don't want to check it too frequently, because then you cause a lot of server load. So you have to build some other things. But sorry, Andy, I'll let you explain this one a little more.
No. You're good. I need to update. Let's see here, my health insurance, make sure that's up to date. No, I'm kidding. So this basically what happens here is if you have, like, say you've logged your contacts in World Radio League and they've synced to QRZ and you don't have any confirmations on either one yet. Well, 5 days later, maybe somebody's uploaded, 2 of those contacts, they've logged them on their side on World Radio League. So you get 2 confirmations there. And the other 3 contacts, people have confirmed on QRZ. So now you've only got some of your confirmations on World Radio League and only some of them on QRZ. So the easiest way to handle this is for us to just bring those confirmations in from QRZ. So you'll just be able to basically click a button and say, yeah, bring in my confirmations from QRZ and apply them to these contacts. Now, we will have a differentiator. We'll say, these were logged like our iconic checkbox, the green checkbox, white check mark. Those will be confirmed in World Radio League. You'll have a different icon for confirmed through QRZ and a different icon for confirmed through Logbook of the World. Yes, Logbook of the World is coming as well. So that's basically this in a nutshell. And James, is there anything I missed there? Anything that should be added there to that explanation?
You nailed it. And it'll say Terry's name on the feature.
It'll say requested by KQ4MDM. Terry with a tango.
New feature, Terry.
This is the Terry feature. All right. So map key, that one's one that we discussed a little bit ago. And this is really cool. So I don't know, James, do you know if this one's live on development yet?
I don't think we've got it.
I don't think it is, but
we can
basically, if I click this button here, I kind of get this little key down here. This is going to all of a sudden turn all colorful and different pin styles. So basically, you'll have James. I don't remember. Do we have which one's color coded and which one's pin style coded? Do you remember?
The colors will be your band, and then the pin style will be your mode.
Yeah, so it will put that key across the bottom for you so that you can, you can differentiate just by looking at the pin on the map. It's this color and this shape. That means it was this band in this mode. So that's going to be so much fun to get that one launched. And that one is it's being developed as we speak. And so we're really, really happy about that.
Yeah, this one's been one that kind of drives me crazy. We are trying to make it work with your map customizations too, because we want you to still be able to change the theme and the colors and the styles, but we want that map key to be accurate. So you can, you'll actually have more colors and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Any comments we need to hit, James, before we go to a quick break?
Just one. Is LOTW from 1950?
Oh, that might be a little bit of a late estimate.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right, sounds good. Guys, we are going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere because when we get back, we've got tons of ham radio news to cover. We have a really, really crazy POTA activation mishap video to share that one of our friends shared with us. We're going to share that shortly after the break here, and we'll be right back. Catalina, are you going to stick with us through the other side of the break?
No, I'm gonna
Okay,
go.
all right, Catalina. Great. I shouldn't have asked you because now our viewership's going to drop like before we get back. But Catalina, great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today, and hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. 73.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah.
See ya,
73,
Catalina.
everybody.
See you, Catalina.
73.
Bye-bye.
James, are you gonna say? James, are you gonna still be with us?
I am going to stick around.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Well, we're going to go to a very quick break, and we'll pull James back up as soon as we're back, and we'll be right back after this. Guys, we'll see you on the other side of the break. Here we go. Are you ready to ditch that 90s ham radio logging software and upgrade to something from this century? Well, now you can. Welcome to a brand new era of software in ham radio, World Radio League. Whether you're a brand new ham radio operator just getting started or a seasoned veteran looking to upgrade your logging experience, World Radio League is the ham radio tool suite for you. Its sleek, modern design brings ham radio into today's world. No more digging through endless menus to find basic features. It's all right in front of you, ready to go with just a couple clicks. An extremely customizable logging interface is just the beginning. We integrate with 7 spotting networks to make finding your contacts that much easier. Plus, we offer many custom mapping and analytics tools so that you can view your contacts your way. We have all sorts of tools tailored to contesting, POTA, SOTA, WWFF, and other activities as well. And it gets better. With our cloud-based log storage, you can access your logs using our fully featured web interface in tandem with our robust mobile app. You can log into your account on any device and even log contacts offline, syncing them to your online account later. The best part? Logging with World Radio League is free. Just set up an account and start logging. Want to use advanced features like large log imports and analytics? Upgrade to a premium plan starting at only $3 a month. Join a huge community of ham radio operators at the fastest growing ham radio software platform available by creating your free account at worldradioleague.com today, or search for World Radio League in your favorite app store. We are back once again, and for the, I guess this is the second half of the show, fastest 2 hours in ham radio. And here is James in 0WRL. Couple of comments I want to hit here real quick, James. Colin's asking, is the mug for US only?
We can do some international. Colin, I guess you're in Australia. I wanna say. Where's Colin?
He's in Australia. Mhm.
He's in Australia. I think we can ship to Australia. So we kind of take it on a case by case basis. If the shipping cost is crazy, we'll be like, we might not be able to do it. But I'm pretty sure we've shipped to Australia before, so shouldn't be a problem. There's some places that. Oh yes. Okay. Sorry. I'm going a little ADD on you here, but I wanted to respond to Pepe really quick. So SOTA, we have a feature. This is coming with mobile app logging templates, which is one of our highest priority. It's in the next month. So with our new mobile app logging templates, we will be able to better support Europeans like our good pal Pepe and others. And I know you've been very patient on this, Pepe, but we are, as you can see, the new features are coming out fast and furious. So I don't know if I'll put my foot on this one, but I'll say that'll definitely be in the next month.
It's N0XRG. I don't know if you saw this one, but
that's good.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's a really good one. I like that. And then the other one, how far is Lighthouse on the list? That one's coming as well. So
Yeah, it'll
Yep.
come about the same time as WW Boda.
Okay, sounds good. The other one I had was Cat Control for Linux. Yes, Cat Control for Linux is coming. We've got a Linux machine spun up, and we will be running builds for Linux very soon. So, great question. Let me go ahead. Oh, personal QSL confirmation tracking for paper QSLs. Yes, this one's in the queue. James, where's this one at in the queue? I know we got the checkbox confirmation, the checkbox QSL card feature.
I know this is on the list. It's not, I can tell you it's not in the next month, but I can say it's probably in the 1 to 2 month range. So
Okay.
it's in there. It's not in, I can usually, if something's in the next month, I can pretty much say this is, it's kind of locked in. That one's in
Yeah.
kind of like that 1 to 2 month range. So
Limbo. It's a little bit of limbo. Yeah.
It's a little bit of limbo. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Jason N4JJN posted this in the Discord. Very nice map. 122 QSOs out of Rome, Georgia.
Ooh, that customization
Very
is
nice.
nice. Hey, Rome,
Yeah, I
Georgia.
like
You're
that.
not too far from
I
me.
love the way he used like the green with like the yellow highlight makes it look like they're glowing. It is so cool.
I know.
Really
It
like
looks really cool.
Then George AG5CC 40 QSOs out of Arkansas, I believe. I think that's where he's located. Very nice. He got the Ireland. Very cool. And then Brady KF8 EJP 44 QSOs. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So let's go ahead and talk let's talk this video here. This is absolutely insane. This is really, really a crazy video. I'm just going to play the video and then we're going to talk about it. This is part of one of the videos we just released on the Ham Radio Prep channel. We've got a bunch of Parks on the Air videos coming out. This one wasn't, it was kind of part of that, but not necessarily part of that. This is about Parks on the Air safety while operating. You probably have already seen this clip. It went pretty big. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the clip here and then we can talk about it after.
This newer ham is a big POTA fan, with more than 50 activations since the summer of 2025, and those were scattered across more than a dozen parks. That's a lot of setup and teardown. Recently, they went to a familiar park to get in an early shift activation. As the sun came up, they raised the mast of a vertical antenna sitting on a mesh ground plane. It was a routine they'd practiced dozens of times, but this time, something went terribly wrong.
The first time you see that, it nearly terrifies you. That about makes my heart race every time I see it. I cannot hardly imagine. One of the reasons is I almost did this without a ground mesh underneath me to protect me from getting electrocuted. And I'm not saying the ground mesh would always save your life. It just, for some reason, the case here, it somehow directed that current into the ground and just barely saved this guy. But I was putting together an antenna mast, a 30-foot antenna mast for my home station. And as I was putting together the sections, I raised this thing up. And I mean, I came within probably, 6-8 feet of hitting, maybe even less than that, of hitting power lines right outside my shack. And it scared me so bad when I realized it. But this is so scary. It's extraordinarily rare that someone not only survives this, but was actually shooting video. So this is not something you're going to see all the time, but it happens all the time. And just a few months ago, beginning of this year, somebody died of this, and it's really, really a sad situation. But we really want to push this out here as hard as we can. It happens so much that it's really something that we need to be extremely aware of as ham radio operators, and push this video, share this video, get this video out as far as you can, because this can really save lives. The biggest thing is always look where you're putting your antenna to see if there are any power lines anywhere around. And I don't care if you're 10, 15 feet away from them and you think there's no way you're going to hit them, move further. If your mast falls over, tips over, whatever, move further, move where you've got plenty of clearance. James, I don't know if you have anything to add there, but this shatters my nerves.
I'll drop the link. I mean, I think you said it perfectly, but luckily this guy, he was a ham radio prep partner. He knew us, he studied with us. He sent the video to Professor Jim in for BFR, so we have our hands on it. So, and he told us, please share this video with other people because, he realized how close he could have been to death. So,
absolutely.
I think I'm going to drop the video and share it with people and let people know to be safe. This is, I would say, of all the different things that could happen badly in ham radio, which it's not very common. It's a very safe hobby, but this is the one thing that could get you. It could be dangerous, and you could get injured, or in a worst case scenario, it could even result in death. So.
Absolutely. And it has.
Especially if some of you guys, if you're working with some new ham radio operators and things like that, let them know too, and get the word out on this.
Yeah, this is of course probably the biggest risk this is in POTA, because you're going to places that you're not that familiar with, and so you never know when there's going to be a power line above you. So just always be aware, be circumspect, keep your eyes out. Just make sure you're nowhere near, even if your antenna falls over, make sure that you've got the full antenna length plus 10 or 15, 20 feet away from the power line together. So this is, we don't talk about this a whole lot, but we probably should, because this is one of those things that it could also have, detrimental effect on the hobby if this keeps happening to people. Then of course the parks are going to say, hey, wait a second, we don't want this liability, no antennas. And that's, of course that's a lesser concern than human life, obviously. But there's so many aspects of this that it's just be safe, keep your eyes open, watch what you're doing. And we're very, very thankful that this guy survived to tell his story, and that he's happy sharing his story to let other people know. So that's I think the title of that video is something like Think Safety or something like that. But yeah, just keep that in your mind. Keep that in your mind. That clip does not leave your mind easily. Believe me. First time I saw that, it about seared it into my brain. That is a very frightening clip. But anyway, so one of the questions that keeps popping up in the chat is the World Radio League desktop app, and we've talked about this every week for the past couple months. James, do you want to give a status update there?
On the desktop app?
Let me ask you this. Do you want to put your foot on the line on the desktop app?
Wait, what's the desktop app? Is somebody asking about that? I don't know if
said something about.
I don't know if people. Yeah, I don't know if anybody who actually wants the desktop app. Let us know in the chat if you want that. I'm just kidding. We are working on it. We're working on it. I'm kidding. I'm not, like I said, I think we're due for a February. We'll keep you posted week to week. I think we're due for a February beta. That's kind of the latest there. But at this point, we have to, if we're going to release it, we have to do it right. And
absolutely.
So I'm not going to put my foot on the line on this one. Not yet.
All right. Well, it is absolutely 100% coming, and will be here very soon. So we're really excited. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get my hands on it. So.
By the way, we are working, maybe on the short term, for those of you Linux users like Thomas here, we are working on the Linux build of the cat control. So I think we're very near. I could say that could, as long as we don't run into any blockers, we could have a Linux build of the cat control app within the next week. So
yeah,
very possible.
Absolutely. I have a little bit of exciting personal news here. Let me find this, and I will share this contact. So as predicted earlier this week, band conditions were awful, like horrendous. But suddenly 6 meters popped open, and 6 meters saw the solar conditions and said, wait a second, hold my Dr. Pepper. And 6 meters came alive. And looky here, I made my very first 6 meter contact ever. And I made it on CW, and I made it with Puerto Rico. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making that contact. So, sorry, somebody just posted something in the Discord here, and I have to share this. This is awesome. KB4SWP. Look at this. Look at this picture. This is. I wasn't going to share anything else out of the Discord, but this is what KB4SWP just posted. What my QSO maps looked like before using World Radio League.
That's nice.
Oh, I love that. All right. So anyway, yeah, first ever 6 meter contact for me. That was really fun. And James, have you gotten on 6 meters much?
I don't think I've ever made a contact on 6 meters, to be honest. Maybe at a club meetup or something, I may have seen somebody doing some 6 meters, but
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever.
it's
So
one of those. It's called the Magic Band. It just pops open randomly and gives you like really good DX, and then goes dead. But no, Colin, I did not buy a new goat or catch a mouse. But yeah, that would also make for some personal news probably. So all right. So James, I don't know if you've done any looking into this, but the organizers of the World Radio Sport Team Championship, which we're hosting their logging system this year, and they're holding that in London, I believe. Is that correct? London is where they're holding that this year.
yeah, it'll be in the UK. I think it's it's kind of like a rural area outside of London.
Yeah.
But yep.
Yeah, very nice. They are scouting for a host site, a host location for 2030 already. So,
Ooh.
yeah, very interesting bit of news there. So, World Radio Sport Team Championship, and if things go well this year, James, do you have plans for the 2030 event partnership, or is that something you've talked about yet?
I think it'll be, it'll be ultimately whatever country I think gets it will get to choose what type of technology. But I think if we have a really good showing, I mean, we're doing it completely free of charge, right? Like
Yeah.
we're offering it to we're doing it for WRTC 2026 because we want to see it awesome and we want to be involved in the future of contesting, and we want to be like, showing that next level of what ham radio contesting is and can be, and pushing the limits of real-time contesting. So but have you heard anything, Andy, about like what countries might be in the running for it?
I haven't heard anything yet. Yeah, I have not heard. If you want to talk about the date, I'll see what I can find here. Talk about the dates this year and kind of where it's going to be set up at, and kind of what the length is going to be this year, and I'll see what I can find on the next year's, or on the next event.
Yeah, so WRTC 2026, it's 161 days away. So it's going to be the 8th through the 13th of July, but the actual competition is only 24 hours long. So when it happens, it's going to be fast and furious, and you're going to want to be, marking your calendar, and, we'll have it. We send a weekly newsletter. So guys, make sure, you're receiving the World Radio League weekly newsletter. We send out updates. So we'll especially the month before, we'll be sending updates like crazy so you don't miss it. But it'll be 50 operators, and it'll be 24 hours, and there's referees. They're all going to be set up with the exact same stations, right? So I'll just actually share my screen in case you want to go take a look. What would be really cool, and maybe we can do this, Andy, we might even get some interviews with some of these guys
Awesome.
beforehand, and do like a little short so you can kind of get to know them. But you can see they come from all these different regions. EU, there's your team leader and the teammate. You've got North America. You've got I guess Asia probably. South America. I think this is Oceania. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Oceania. And then there's 4 youth teams.
Cool.
Competing. And then 2 sponsored, and you've got a wild card, and that looks like a nice Argentina call sign there. So you've got representation from all over the world, 50
Very
of
nice.
the best operators, of the best contesters in the world.
Yeah. Very cool. So I did a little bit of research here. As of early 2026, the WRTC sanctioning committee is actively accepting applications. So nothing concrete yet. They rotate countries. Past hosts include the U.S., Slovenia, Finland, Brazil, Russia, Germany, Italy, and the U.K. That's this year is the U.K. So they say that. See here. Okay, so interested groups or national societies are being invited to submit a letter of intent by the 15th of February, and the required for the bid on organizing, they need to submit a brief letter of intent that includes organizing committee identity and leadership, proposed time frame and location within a country, estimated budget and fundraising plan, and organizational details for running the event. And then the choice will likely be revealed at the WRTC 2026 closing ceremony in July 2026.
Oh wow! So they're gonna announce it as soon as they finish the other one. Very interesting. I did not know that.
Like. Here's a comment from Pepe. Don't forget to upgrade your CPU and RAM before WRTC 2026.
I can't believe we ran, like, Winter Field Day, we maxed out our CPU. We ran it at 100. Nothing crashed. It worked perfectly. And then we perfectly transferred up our CPU with maybe like, just a couple minutes of downtime.
Terry's asking how serious you were about voice logging in the car.
I'm as serious as a tax audit.
Serious as a librarian. All right. I've got time for one more story here before we go to our last break, and then when we come back, we'll hit the rest of our stories. But I'm gonna cover this one before we go to break. Boy, it's a long show today. As on January 18th, 2026, the sun unleashed a powerful X1.9 class solar flare from an active sunspot region. This was expected. This was predicted by yours truly, me, at the beginning of last week, and but it was intense. This one was absolutely intense. The eruption was followed by a fast halo coronal mass ejection, or CME, a large cloud of. To explain what a CME is, it's a large cloud of charged plasma and magnetic field directed toward Earth. So the combination of intense flare and CME interaction produced an unusually strong solar radiation storm, an event where high energy charged particles from the sun stream toward Earth, striking the upper atmosphere and magnetosphere. These storms are rarer and more impactful than typical solar flares. Now, there are two key severity scales that are used: the S scale, the solar radiation storm scale, and the geomagnetic storm scale, or the G scale. The S scale reached S4 severe. This has not been seen in over 20 years. This was a really intense storm. The G scale, see here, it also reached G4 severe, which is I think G4 is pretty common, but S4 is extraordinarily rare. This hasn't happened, as I understand it, since 2003. I was born in 2003, so there. We haven't had, in my lifetime, basically, we haven't had one. Maybe one other time in my lifetime, depending on when that one landed in 2003, have we had one quite this severe. So these storms can dramatically alter Earth's ionosphere, and of course, we all know that's the layer of the atmosphere that signals bounce off of, and so that can completely black out HF signals, which absolutely kills most operators. POTA is pretty much dead, and all those things that we like to do kind of go out the window unless you have 1.5 kilowatts that you can beam at somebody. But Uh, so this I found interesting. I never really understood have fully understood this, but until now. But polar regions actually experience worse effects than any other region. So they experience a near complete HF radio blackout on the
Wow.
lower band. So I did not realize. So mid latitude we'll see erratic HF propagation with sudden signal loss and unpredictable skip distances and noisy bands, but the polar regions get the worst of it. So I found that rather fascinating. Now the cool side effect of these storms is the auroral displays. You can really get some really cool aurora pictures. I've got some from earlier in the year when we had some other storms, solar storms, and it is really cool. Some of the to be able to see the aurora from where I am down here in Missouri, it's really cool and very enjoyable. So that is one positive side effect.
So there was some awesome aurora. I did see some pictures coming
Yeah.
out. There was some awesome aurora during this last week, the solar flare.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Tamitha Skov, the space weather woman. She's got an awesome channel. Go check her channel out if you want to learn more about this. It's very, very cool. Let's see here. So this is also interesting. Severe geomagnetic. Let me start that one over. Severe geomagnetic activity can stress satellites, affect GPS accuracy, and increase atmospheric drag on low Earth orbit spacecraft, which is very interesting. I had never really realized this before. Something that operators of satellites and space experiments monitor closely. Elevated radiation levels during S4 storms pose potential exposure risk to astronauts and passengers and crew on polar flights. So, you keep seeing these like, the pilots aren't going to like this, or if you're going to fly in an aircraft, keep this in mind. I never really realized this before, how this affected astronauts and flight passengers. So very interesting. So the highest possible S class is S5. This was an S4, so this is pretty severe. And it combined a strong solar flare, a CME, and fast dense particle stream. So this is really something that's it doesn't happen to this scale all that often. And it interestingly enough, we're still in the solar maximum of cycle 25. So that's why we get some of these stronger and more frequent space weather events. And speaking of Dr. Skov, she says that we're seeing some of the last gasp of the solar cycle that the sun puts out. So, we could be starting to see over towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, we could start to see some solar cycle decline potentially. So very, very, very interesting.
How many years is the solar cycle? It's like
11 years. It's an 11-year solar cycle. We've been at solar maximum for about, I think, roughly around a year. We've been kind of at the solar maximum, and once that heads down, I've never operated ham radio in solar minimum before, so I don't know what it's like. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here over the next few years. So
yeah, well, I mean, the good thing is that amateur radios keep getting better. And there's also different modes. I mean, there's new modes of communication as well, so like free DV and things. So I'm sure it'll get more challenging, but that'll be part of the fun. That'll be a part of the fun as it gets more challenging. Maybe you'll have to be a little bit more creative. You'll have to pay a little more attention to propagation and conditions than you can in the Solar Max.
Yeah, and of course we provide some really cool ways to do that, and we're looking at expanding some of our solar conditions widgets and that type of thing. So that'll be really cool. Guys, we are going to go to our last break, and then we'll be back with some interesting updates on Hamcation and our next flight around the moon. So as a country and as a human peoples. So we'll be right back after this. Catch you right on the other side of the break. See you then. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the third half of the show here today at the Blue Barn Studios and at the World Radio League Studios in Georgia. We've got James beaming in through the magic of the internet. All right. We have some really cool stories to wrap up with, plus your propagation or solar conditions forecast, propagation forecast here in the third half of the show. Thank you, Sean, for noticing. Somebody finally caught it. Yeah. So yes, we are having fun today, and we had a jam-packed show. To be honest, I'm hoping I can get all this fit in time. So let's go ahead and talk about the Artemis 2 mission. This one's really cool. James, do you know about the Artemis 2 mission?
Not enough.
Ask me about the Artemis 2 mission.
Okay, Andy, why don't we just start with the basics? What is the Artemis 2 mission?
I am so glad you asked. The Artemis 2 mission is the first manned mission around the moon since the 1970s. So Artemis 1 was the unmanned mission around the moon, and that happened last year. Artemis 2, I think it was 25 that Artemis 1 launched. Artemis 2 is planned to depart in February, at least no earlier than February 2026. They just, as of January 17th, 2026, they rolled out to the launch pad, Pad 39B, historic launch pad, and we'll talk about some of the history behind 39B. But Artemis 2 is carrying 4 astronauts. That is Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen around the moon and back. They will not be entering in lunar orbit. They're simply going around similar. They're following a similar mission to Apollo 8. So they will be going around the moon and then coming back to Earth. So that is such a cool mission. If you're not a space nerd, I'm sorry that you're not a space nerd, because you ought to be. I love following these missions, and it is so cool. And it does have bearing on ham radio. And this actually, we're going to talk a little bit about how this has bearing on ham radio, but we're going to talk even more about it probably next week. I'm planning on bringing this back up next week, and we'll talk about some more. So Launchpad 39B, that is a launch pad at NASA's Kennedy Space Center on Merritt Island, Florida. It's one of the most iconic spaceflight facilities in the world. It's part of Launch Complex 39. That includes Launch Complex 39A, which is leased to SpaceX, which they launch most of their rockets from, and Pad 39C, a smaller pad. The first launch on Pad 39A, May 18th, 1969. I should have pulled up a clip for this launch. I wish I would have, because this is so cool. Apollo 10 on a Saturn V rocket began its lunar test mission from 39B, and it was used for many of the Saturn V missions and the Saturn IB missions, including Skylab, the Apollo-Soyuz test project, and even into the space shuttle era. They extensively modified the pad to support shuttles from the late 70s through the end of the program in 2011. And then they reconfigured it for the Space Launch System, the SLS. It's one of the biggest rockets ever produced, basically. It's massive, the SLS. And that Artemis 1 launched using the SLS, and the upcoming Artemis 2 will launch using the SLS. This is NASA's first crewed mission around the moon under the Artemis program, and the first human voyage beyond low Earth orbit. Remember, all the ISS missions are still in low Earth orbit. This is the first human voyage beyond low Earth orbit since Apollo 17, 1972. It's planned as a 10-day lunar flyby, scheduled for launch no earlier than February 6th through 7th, 2026 from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39B, and it will be aboard the Orion spacecraft. So the launch vehicle is the SLS Block 1. The landing is planned for a Pacific Ocean splashdown. Something I found interesting about the Orion capsule, it was built by Lockheed Martin. So, if you're into fighter jets or airplane manufacturers, you might recognize that name. So, Lockheed Martin built the Orion capsule for Artemis 2, and I think the command module, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the command module is actually supplied by ESA, European Space Agency. This is, to clarify, this is not a moon landing. It's going to fly around the moon and back. So they are testing a lot of deep space systems before Artemis 3, which will attempt a lunar landing. And we all know how lunar landing attempts can go. I don't know if you've heard if you've looked into any of the Apollo missions, but Apollo 11 was not supposed to be the first mission to land on the moon. I think 10 was supposed to be the first to land, if I'm not mistaken. And 11 almost came within literally 17, if I'm not mistaken, 17 seconds of not landing on the moon. They came within 17 seconds of fuel.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Suddenly, they were coming in for the landing in the planned spot. All of a sudden, he looked out the window and realized, hey, wait a second, this is way too rocky. We can't land here. He did a manual override on the controls. The guys on the ground were like going, what on earth is he doing up there? And he's leveling off, going sideways. And they call out, they say, hey, you've got 30 seconds of fuel remaining. And he's bringing this thing, and he's got this switch where if he runs out of fuel, he can flip a switch. It will send his launch booster, and he'll take off from the moon, go reunite with the command module, and never land on the moon. So that's his last resort. He comes down to 17 seconds of fuel remaining and sets it down, calls the famous call, the Eagle has landed. And of course, Capcom Charlie Duke comes on the line and says,
that has to be so scary.
Yeah, Capcom Charlie Duke comes on the line and says, you got a bunch of guys about to turn blue down here. Thanks a lot. So I'll see if I can pull up some of those clips for next week, because those are some really, really cool clips. And fun fact, Charlie Duke actually went to the moon on Apollo 16 later on. So and that's a really cool video as well. But yes, 17 seconds margin for landing on the moon are the first time. So we don't know that Artemis 3 is going to actually land, but that's what they're planning for, is Artemis 3 to land on the moon. So as of late Friday, the crew of Artemis 2 went into pre-launch quarantine. This is part of a standard health stabilization procedure before the launch. So they're in quarantine until launch day, basically. This is how this overlaps with ham radio. While the primary mission communications are handled by NASA's Near Space Network, and Deep Space Network, the agency has also opened opportunities for external tracking and radio enthusiasts. NASA, and you can find this on the NASA site, you can find the list here, but NASA has selected 34 volunteers worldwide, including ham radio operators, to passively track signals from the Orion spacecraft as it travels around the moon, supplementing official tracking efforts. These volunteers will use their equipment to receive and monitor radio signals from Orion's transmissions, supporting public science and engagement during the mission.
Wow.
This is so cool. And like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on how this works next week. We don't have time today, but I am planning to do a deep dive on exactly how this works next week. It's so cool. And I'll see if I can maybe even pull the list of volunteers that NASA selected. In addition to traditional radio and NASA network comms, Artemis 2 will test enhanced deep space communication tech, the Illuma T020, an optical communication system using infrared lasers capable of high-speed data transfer, hundreds of megabits per second, enabling high-resolution imagery and scientific telemetry back to Earth. This is so cool. So right now we have amateur radio.
Awesome.
Imagine when we have amateur infrared James. We're gonna have to make this the World Radio and Infrared League.
It just it makes me really happy and proud to be an amateur radio operator when you see about the involvement in things like this too.
Yeah.
Because, and I think it's really important for the future of amateur radio that, you know, you have not everybody, you know, not even me. I'm not one of these selected volunteers, but you have representation from the amateur radio community that is on the cutting edge of science and technology and pushing the boundaries. And it's like, I think it really is good for our whole community to see that type of engagement.
Absolutely. So just to wrap up the story here, and like I said, we're gonna dive deep onto this in a future show, and I'm really excited about it because I get way too excited about this stuff, but I love this stuff. So just to wrap this up, the timeline, the earliest possible launch window opens February 6th through 7th, 2026. That's coming right up. That's very close. Monitor. I'm sure they're going to be broadcasting live on YouTube and around the world. So just keep an eye on the channels there that you would want to monitor. The outbound lunar transit will be through days 1 through 3. The lunar flyby will take place around day 4, and the return transit will take place on days 5 through 9, with reentry happening on day 10. Here is that two-way end-to-end laser communication relay system. That is so cool. That is really cool. Illuma
Very
T.
cool. Illuma T. Okay.
Yeah, Illuma T is very, very fascinating.
Wow.
And I can definitely see for deep space communications, I can definitely see the efficiency.
Are we going to have it's going to be like we've got the 2 centimeter band, and then we've 70 centimeters, 2 meters, and then we've got the 0.0000000.
This is like above 10 gigahertz, guys. This is like
I don't even know if it would
to daylight.
Well, I guess since it's a laser, if it was a band, it wouldn't even really be a band, right? I mean,
it absolutely would. It's electromagnetic spectrum. It's infrared.
Oh,
it's infrared.
is.
It's on the spectrum. It is on the spectrum.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm learning something then. So it's
cool. Yeah.
It's
if you ever look at the electromagnetic spectrum, it literally goes from the direct current, which is no wave, all the way to beyond like X-rays, gamma rays, that type of thing, which is above light. Light is in the middle of that spectrum. Infrared is, of course, just below the light on the spectrum. So it's it's all part of the spectrum.
What's the highest? I guess we don't have it on this.
10 gigahertz is like really high. I'm not sure if it goes above 10 gigahertz, but yeah. So the last point for Artemis 2, then we're going to get to our last 2 items. Last point on Artemis 2, while traditional ham communication aboard Artemis 2 isn't guaranteed, past discussions have highlighted that crew members are licensed hams, and enthusiasts have hoped for live voice contacts or signals from the moon vicinity, a potential historic moment if it occurs. Definitely not guaranteed, but possible. We've got licensed amateurs on board this flight. It's possible. Not guaranteed, but possible. And I can see them like not doing it on Artemis 2, but maybe like on Artemis 4, once they've like gotten to the moon, now they're wanting to go even further, practice even more communications technology. They might even do it around then, but this is a communications test mission, so I can also see the possibility of it happening on Artemis 2. We'll see what happens. All right, final story before the forecast here. APRS day out at Hamcation. The APRS, have you heard about this yet, James?
I haven't. And I'll be there, so
you'll be there. So this is kind of interesting for you. The APRS Day Out at Hamcation event is being organized and sponsored by the Daytona Beach Amateur Radio Association. They're the club putting a dedicated APRS digipeater on the air to support the activity during Hamcation. APRS Day Out, it's going to be an event built around the Automated Packet Reporting System, or APRS. It's coincides with Hamcation, and which is, of course, one of the largest amateur radio conventions in the U.S. Instead of it just being like you're sitting in a room listening to somebody, present all this information to you, it's designed to be hands-on, highly visible, beginner-friendly, and mobile-centric. It encourages hams attending Hamcation or traveling to and from it to actively transmit APRS data so others can see amateur radio in action in real time. I don't have a lot of experience with APRS, but this sounds really cool to me. They say here it's often misunderstood as just positioning reporting, but this event intentionally showcases its full capability, including live GPS tracking of mobiles and handhelds, short text messages over RF, weather telemetry, portable stations, mobiles, or home weather, and Digipeater and iGate activity lighting up the network. Do you have a clip there you want to play for us?
Yeah, I'll just share a quick
That
clip,
came
but-
for ACK. This guy
Yeah,
knows his APRS.
This guy, if you go to Hamcation, he might, if you run into Jason, he actually taught me how to program my radio,
Very cool.
my Kenwood THD74 for APRS, and I did my first APRS packets. Let's just see.
What exactly is a day out event? Stick around and we'll get right to it. Hey, welcome back, guys. Jason.
Well, I'll just we won't watch that, but
Why
I'll,
don't we link that in the comment section here, and we can, if you send me the link, I'll make sure it gets in the description too. So, yeah, that is really cool. Go ahead, be sure and watch that video once we're done here. But during the event, APRS maps.ap like APRS.fi become visually busy, especially around Orlando and along major travel routes. That's the point. This event encourages operators to run APRS mobile while traveling to and from Hamcation, carry APRS HTs on the show floor, enable home iGates and Digipeaters to improve coverage, and experiment with beacons, messages, symbols, and paths. So if APRS is something you're wanting to get into, this is the perfect place to give it a try. You're going to have tons of people who are also using APRS, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Andy. You really you introduced me to something cool today, which I'm excited about, because now while I'm in Orlando, this is a perfect chance to do a little bit more APRS. And if you aren't familiar, we can add it to the show notes to the APRS.fi. I'll just show you a live APRS map. It is really cool. These so these packets can be received by anywhere that somebody has an iGate set up that receives the APRS packet from a radio and and puts it into the APRS database, and then you can view it via the web app. But you can see all of these, like here's K2 ATL. That's a nice call sign.
Yeah.
So pretty cool site, and wow, look at that. I mean,
yeah, that's really awesome.
You may not think that many people are doing APRS. Go to APRS.fi. You will quickly find out that a lot of people are doing APRS.
Making me want to get involved. Absolutely. All right, let's wrap with an HF propagation forecast for the next 8 days, including today. So today, geomagnetic index KP. Around 3 to 4, a little bit unsettled. Solar flux is still going to be a little elevated at 160 to 170, which is good. And the ionosphere is recovering with lingering absorption at high altitudes. Thank you to my, well, I don't need to say thank you because my AI minion does an awesome job of putting these together for me. So I won't say thank you to it, but glad that we have these tools available to us. Band by band today, 80 meters, 80 through 30, you're going to be pretty solid. 20 is going to be open but unstable. 15 and 10 are going to be mostly closed, and 17 marginal in the mid latitudes, DX only. Day 2, it's going to be quiet to unsettled. Absorption will be decreasing. Once again, those lower bands are going to be good, solid. 80 clear through 20 is actually going to be pretty solid. 17 and 15 are going to be kind of off and on, and 10 meters is probably going to be a no-go. Day 3, which is let me get my dates right here. Day 3, which is January 28th. HF is going to be good. The atmosphere is going to be mostly quiet. The geomagnetic index KP is going to be around 2 to 3. The ionosphere continuing to restabilize. 80 through 17 are going to be solid. 15 short openings possible, and 10 is probably going to still be down for the most part. Day 4, We've got a chance. This is the 29th. We've got a chance of a G1 minor storm from a coronal hole stream. Increased noise, polar absorption, returns 80 through 30 are going to probably be pretty good. 20 through 17 are going to be variable and weak. And 15 through 10, no go. Day 5, which I think we're up to the 30th there. Is that right? I believe that's right. It's going to be unsettled to active. Noise is going to be elevated at night. 80 meters is going to experience some higher noise. 40 and 30 are going to be pretty solid. 20 is going to have some patchy openings. And 17 plus is going to be pretty rough. Day 6. Let's see here. It will be settling with some rather gradual recovery. 80 through 20 will be pretty solid. 17. Watch that in the mid-afternoon. You might get some good contacts on 17. 15 plus is going to be kind of down probably. Day 7, geomagnetic index will be pretty quiet. Solar flux is still going to be healthy. 80 through 17 meters will be solid. 15 meters, probably you might have a weak opening that day, and then 10 meters is probably going to be down for the most part. And then day 8, 80 through 17 are going to be reliable. 15, marginal but possible. 10, no go unless some surprising E propagation. So that is next Monday. So that's basically all week. Your lower bands for most of the week are going to be solid. 20 is going to kind of come back after day 2. And 15 and 10 are going to be a little bit dead this week. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, absolutely. I'm once again, sounds like storm midweek, better propagation by the end of the week. So that is your forecast. James, anything to add before we end the show?
I want to give a big thank you to you, Andy, for the great job that you're doing with this show and how it just continues to get a little bit better every single week. I want to say thank you to everybody in the community, especially our members who are supporting us, whether you're a basic, a premium, a VIP, a life member, or maybe you're just a free user of World Radio League who, is trying it out. That is totally cool too. We are always going to keep a free version of the software forever because we don't want anybody to not be able to participate just because of financial reasons. But for those of you guys who have supported us and become a member, it means the world, and we are, we're having a blast, but we're working our hardest to get better. So we really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Guys, we want to thank you so much for coming along for another fantastic week of the World Radio League show. We will be back next week with another 2 hours of pure ham radio goodness. The fastest 2 hours in ham radio ends now. 7-3, everybody. N0 APX. I am clear. 73. Did it.